Hello there. All right, let's do a sound check, make sure everything's working. Sounds like it's working. Let's go, Emmerich. What if the demonstration and its resolution outstripped you, Peter? Every man, woman, and child of Ishgard has heard the tale. 'Tis rumored that my youngest's lack of judgment was to blame. Of course, such stories are prone to exaggeration. What exactly came to pass?
Well, actually, he had poor choice of words, which led to the person being killed. He said stop them, and the man had a bow, so he used what he had.
I see. So that is the truth of it. Regardless of his intent, the result is undeniable. He has furthered the cause of these misguided few who cannot let go of the past. In an instant, the delicate peace we were poised to forge is once more beyond us. To dwell so deeply on the war and the vengeance it begets, one only for that too to be taken away, is it any wonder they were left bereft? For what was this sacrifice? Have we not to show for our suffering? I thought peace a sufficient salve, but mayhaps I was mistaken. We are warriors, Lord Edmund, and ours is a nation built on centuries of warfare. Right or wrong, this is who we are, and we deny it at our peril. To hold on to the past without being beholden to it. Aye, we must needs find a way to honor the sacrifice of our forefathers without glorying in their excesses. A difficult path, to be sure. We dare not deny the scars which mar our nation's soul, lest we spur other disillusioned souls to retrace them. But, as you say, we dare not revel in past glories either, for they are tainted, all. A clear, unambiguous enemy, and an undeniably righteous cause. 'Tis a bitter reflection, but lies though they were, they did long serve to unite us. No truth will ever serve as well, I fear. Yet, we are not without options. At our last meeting, a proposal was tabled by the other members of the Orsian Alliance for joint military exercises to strengthen the ties between our nations and test our readiness to meet with a common threat. I had thought to delay these exercises until after the peace conference, but mayhap a grand melee would be just the thing to lift our beleaguered spirits. Better still, an occasion for the Temple Knights and the Watch to take the field as allies. A unified Ishgardian force filled with men and women of all walks of life, which would stand against a coalition of the allied nations' finest. Hosted by Ishgard in the shadow of the Gates of Judgment, a victory under such circumstances would serve as a reaffirmation, nay, a declaration to all and sundry, that we are as strong and united as ever. Such a victory would do much to fan the flames of patriotism, 'tis true. But if we should be defeated, though, even to hold our own against the cream of three nations might be presented as a triumph. Very well, you can count on my support, for what little it is worth. However, I have a request. I would have my son, Amalian, take part in the grand melee. By his deeds has he brought shame upon Ishgard. So by his deeds I would have him bring our nation honor. As you wish, my lord. If that is his desire, then it shall be so. Now then, we have no time to lose, Peter. Would you be so kind to deliver my instructions to Lucia? I shall write to the Alliance leaders at once and begin making arrangements for the grand melee. Should you chance to see my son, pray inform him of his duty. If he has not yet returned, he will soon enough, making every effort to avoid me. So that is their solution. A great melee to unite the people. Oh, that's the wrong voice, sorry. So that is their solution. A great melee to unite the people. And what part did they have you play in this affair, I wonder? You, who they've taken into their confidence, upon whom they come to rely on so heavily. And will you oblige them when the proposition is made? Will you stand for Ishgard once more? Such my friends and comrades, not the nation. Poor choice of words. For friends tried and true, then. The living and the lost. So, for this grand melee of his, Sir Emmerich wishes to field a force comprising both his temple knights and Hilda's watch, yes? I can only imagine what she will have to say about that. In fact, curiosity compels me to go see for myself. We must have the strength to stand unwavering in the face of the enemy. 'Tis the only way we will weather this storm and deliver our people into a new era. Well met, Peter. Have you spoken with Sir Emmerich? Yes, I just got back. I was aware of the Alliance's request. So, Sir Emmerich would turn these exercises into a spectacle for the masses. Not that I doubt the efficacy of such a plan. Indeed, I know its effectiveness only too well, having witnessed it firsthand. Nevertheless, he has not once given me reason to doubt his intentions, and these are desperate times indeed. I will select knights for the events forthwith. As for the watch, if they're going to participate, will he now? I consider it Master Thancred to seek out our young watch commander of his own volition. Alas, he has acted prematurely. Pray, deliver this list of watch candidates to Hilda. I would have her best man, not her most dispensable. I love this music so much. Yeah, supposedly the next one has better music. I can't imagine how. Tancred's been telling me all about Sir Emmerich's grand soiree. Seems we're expected to join in. It's nice of him to invite us and all, but I hope he knows what he's doing. Because we ain't dressed to dance with professional blazing soldiers. Here's a letter. Well, seems the first commander's gone and handpicked her guests. Can't say I disagree with her choices, though. She's got a good eye. Will you be fighting too? Reckon you'd inspire the lads if you were. Might take their minds off getting their hides tanned and all. Think about it, eh? I hate to ask, but have you seen our favorite lordling? You haven't seen our favorite lordling, have you? I thought not. On the assumption that he is not to be found in his father's loving embrace, I suggest we split up and look for him. I'll search Foundation and you the footage. Hello, Melian. How are you? I carried Hiranor to the manor. Our best Chicurgians are tending to him as we speak. He's yet to wake, but surely he will. So Father has volunteered me for this grand melee of theirs. My beloved family, always making my decisions for me. No, it's not just that. It's just... Oh, you would not understand. How could you? You're free to be the man you want to be. Whereas I... I am a son of House Fortemps. Oh, don't you see? My future was determined before I was born. What I could and could not do. Right or wrong, that was the way of it. Until the old order began to crumble. Now we wander amidst the rubble, searching for a purpose, for a place. All about me, brave men and women rise to the occasion. With faith and conviction, they dedicate themselves to their causes. But not I. I was terrified of making the wrong choice. Which is why I let better men make them for me. Do this, do that, take this duty, guard this conference. I suppose I'd convinced myself I was above it. Until your friends showed me otherwise. When I saw her in war, I wanted to scream. I wanted someone to blame. But, in the end, there was only me. Only me. So, you see, I cannot meekly bow my head and accept my father's command. Such cowardice is what has brought me to this point. I will go to Sir Amaric, and I will make my own decision. Hopefully that goes well for you, bro. The Lord Commander is not to be disturbed. May I ask what matter demands his personal attention? Yes, the Commander's not going to join. I see. Very well, you may answer. She'll be fine, right? She'll be fine.
Lord Commander, if I may, I wish to speak with you before the Grand Melee.
Proceed.
How do you do it, my lord? How do you lead with such certainty, when so many of our countrymen will not hear of peace with the Dravanians? Some of them hate you almost as much as the dragons themselves. They decry you as a patricide in the streets. They even tried to kill you, for God's sakes. Yet still you march on, undaunted, where no archbishop dared to tread. What is your secret? Where do you find the strength?
Knowing the why is very important.
For centuries, our nation has been punished for the sins of our forefathers. If our punishment is to end, I believe we must right the wrongs of antiquity and move forward as a nation united.
All right, love you,
Needless
dear.
to say, my father did not share this opinion. He did not believe the people strong enough to bring about their own deliverance, trusting only in himself. Tyranny seemed to him the only solution. But I have faith in the people, Lord Amanalain. I have faith that they will weather this storm and overcome every trial we set before them.
Even though there is no reason for that faith, he still clings to it.
Many have fought and died to see this blight upon our nation's history cleansed, and I would not let their sacrifices be in vain. Though we invite reprisals, the risk is worth the reward.
Again, knowing the why.
I want to believe. I do. Lord Commander, through my careless orders, a pall has been cast over these proceedings, and I beg the opportunity to make amends. I, Emmanuel de Forton, do hereby request leave to take part in the Grand Melee.
Who am I to deny such a heartfelt plea? We would be honored to have you join the fray, my lord.
You will take charge of the Ishgardian forces?
For all my other responsibilities, I am still Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, and I would not soon yield this duty to another.
The esteemed Sir Emeric leading the Temple Knights and the Watch into battle along with my youngest. I could wish for no more.
Then you wish for too little, my lord. There is another who might yet join the fray. An indispensable ally to whom we owe much and more.
Kind of want to fight with my grand company, but whatever.
An adventurer beholden to none, who nevertheless chose to champion our cause, who has shared in our suffering and in our glory.
They're not going to let me say
A
no.
warrior without equal, who I am privileged to call a friend. There is no one I would rather have fighting by my side. I ask this in full knowledge of your obligations, and will not think less of you should you refuse. But if your conscience will allow it, might you oblige me, my friend, one more time?
Kitty says hello.
Together we shall give the people a spectacle for the ages, a celebration to mark the dawning of a new era.
Something really bad is going to happen at this spectacle. I can feel it right now. Isn't that right, Kitty? He comes and he begs for love, and when I give him love, he's like, wait, no, stop. God's help me, I think it might be love. I dare say it might be cheating, too. Your mere presence could be enough to turn the tide in most battles. Yeah, whichever side I pick would win. And did you see the way his eyes lit up when he nodded? It was the look of boundless relief and joy. One would think a politician more practiced at concealing his emotion. Still, his honesty does give him credit. For a moment, I was fair inspired to pledge myself to the cause. But that would be improper. This is their fight and yours, but not mine. Monies. Sir Emeric informed me that the Alliance leaders have agreed to his proposal. A grand melee shall be held here in the shadow of the Gates of Judgment and in sight of the capital. An announcement has been made, and Allied forces are currently en route. The eyes of Ishgard are upon us, Pieter. We must not fall, or fail, either. A rare opportunity to see you pit yourself through against Allied... rare opportunity to see your... A rare opportunity to see you pit yourself against Allied forces, outside of Carteneau, perhaps. I would not miss this for the world. I'm not actually keen to attack people, but okay, whatever. really isn't my fight, guys. No, let's do this. There he is. I say, when you don't appear, I begin to question. Oh, nothing. Never mind. I think we are mere moments away from facing the cream of Eorzea's soldiery in battle. That I am mere... What if? What am I saying? I have to stop imagining the worst. I must think of victory, of the glory, of the stories I will tell Hanwar when he wakes. I'm ready, old boy. Are you? Nope, not at all. By the Fury, how could I forget? Father bid me present this to you. I know it is sudden, but we believe the men would find it inspiring if you bore the colors of House Fortemps in the battle. Pray, do us the honor. During the Grand Melee, some of your gear will be glamoured. Your attributes and abilities will not be affected. You're gonna put some clothes on me, huh? That metal has to be so cold.
Let all here present heed well the rules of engagement.
Grand Melee is a large-scale battle in which the allied company of Uldan, Gridanian, and Elminster forces will be pitted against a company of Ishgardian forces. When a combatant is incapacitated, the opposing company will be awarded tactical points. First company to attain the designated tactical rating of 100 points is declared the victor. During the Grand Melee, officiants may mark certain combatants with the Fury's gaze, which will be indicated by the ethereal tether linking them to their company's flag. While defeating most combatants will award your company 1 tactical points, defeating marked combatants will award your company 10 tactical points. Marked combatants also possess enhanced attributes, rendering them more powerful and more difficult to defeat. Defending and defeating these combatants is the key to victory.
For the honor and the glory of Ishgard!
All is ready then. Very well. Brave men and women of the Eorzean Alliance, let the Grand Melee begin!
Forward, forward, Ishgard, Ishgard. You okay, Lord of my man? Come to the mark. Thank you. Appreciate you, Steam Rat Tomato. Guardians, show us your mettle. Just gonna just feel her, Guard, rally to the first commander. In our grasp. For Ishgard. Nice as spirit flames, adders, milk, and forward. Following the punishment of General Rabon and we win. Nyara, says the kitty. Cyclops, everyone, on your guard. Let's go get him. All forces, fall back. I see a problem. Nice. Continue the melee. I'll deal with him. Deaf sod, I heard the man. Back to it. Kitty says hello. All forces form a line on Pieter, now. There's a 1v1 rub on. Appears to be heading toward. Yep. Well met. I will not lie. I was hoping it would come to this. So then, shall we dance? Damn it all. Yeah, sure, whatever. It's just the two of them. On your guard, Lord O'Melian. Our fight is not yet finished. And you bastards got. Come on then, give us another. Just keep coming. We cannot, we must not yield. It's a bit unfair that I can heal and he can't, but you know, whatever. Brilliant. You are indeed the warrior of life. Strength now, Pieter, strength. Now is your chance. Strike him down for the glory of Ishgard. All right, I take your victory. You've earned it.
Did he win? Then we...
And when we've 1v1 Raban.
Victory is ours! Ishgard! Ishgard!
Kind of creamed him, actually.
Well fought! Well fought, my friend! You truly are the warrior of warriors. Thank the Fury you were on our side.
Yeah, actually, it would have gone the other way if I'd been with my real company.
Oh, my lungs are burning, and I can barely stand. I didn't think I could do it, but then I did. We did. We faced the Alliance's best, and together, with one heart, with one purpose, we prevailed. After 1,000 years of hardship, of strife and bloodshed, we are strong enough to rise to any challenge, be it on the battlefield or beyond. The future holds so much promise, so much joy. We need only show them the way.
Stray arrow? This is usually when something awful happens. I guess not. Okay, good. This game's got me used to catastrophes.
A truly magnificent display, Sir Knight. While doubtless less than pleased, I am quite sure the Grand Companies are honored to have been bested by such valiant warriors.
The honor was ours, Your Grace.
I am pleased to see that Ishgard's proud martial tradition is being upheld. When the time comes, I trust you will fight alongside your brothers and sisters in the Eorzean Alliance with the same fervor you displayed in opposing them. I note that our friend elected to take the field in Ishgardian colors.
At my behest, Your Grace. If we have given offense, the blame lies with me.
Fear not, Sir Knight. It was a surprise, nothing more. And any hint of ill feeling was thoroughly dispelled by the spectacle of our mutual friend's duel with General Rauban.
Man, he wears that cape well.
On
Rauban.
the subject of surprises, I could not help but marvel at the passion and unity of purpose displayed by your countrymen, given the troubling reports we have received of late.
I shall take that as a compliment, Your Grace. The events to which you allude are the price of change. The end of the Dragonsong War marks the beginning of a new era for our nation, and for the people, high and lowborn alike, who will lead her into the future.
Ah, yes. The people. Change is indeed a perilous thing, for we who seek it, and they who fear it. I shall pray for Ishgard, and for you.
I do me the courtesy of a curtsy.
Well, that made for a refreshing change. Congratulations on your victory, by the way. Ishgardians certainly seem happy with themselves. I, for my part, am merely glad you did not strain anything in the process of single-handedly winning the battle for them.
Yeah. Speaking of straining something. Kitty says hello.
'Tis but a scratch, I assure you. And I will not suffer you to worry over me. Not when we have a dozen far more important concerns.
Come on, you pansy.
Make that 24. Still, as Y'shtola never tires of telling me, we can but face them head-on one at a time. One day at a time. As Minfilia would have done.
Balls, I'd forgotten what it was like to feel so alive. Not since leaving the Blood Sands have I had the privilege. Not since the Bull of Alamigo hung up his swords. Back then the outcome might have been different, but I do not begrudge you your victory. I know how far you've come, and how much you have endured. Our fight only confirmed it. We shall have to do this again one day, when time allows. I shall look forward to it. Now go. Go on to the Ishgardians and celebrate your victory. You've earned it. Come, Pippin. Her Grace is expecting us. Lead on, Father. Sorry, lead on, Father. That's the right voice. Said your goodbyes? Look. In all the years I've known Raban, I cannot recall ever seeing him look so happy in defeat. Well, everything seems to be falling into place, does it not? The Ishgardians have claimed their symbolic victory. The Eorzean alliance has been strengthened in the process. And be proud, Peter. You made this happen. Monies. And I've learned a new emote. Victory! Oh, I like that one. Sir Emmerich is beaming with pride. We have done it. Nay, you have done it. You have brought us the victory we so desperately needed. There's naught left but to return to the capital. Come, let us see what reception awaits us. Ooh, patriotism. Let's see. Are they eating each other when we get back? Bye then.
My lord!
Honorwa, my boy. Shouldn't you be in bed?
Thank you for your concern, my lord. But I have largely recovered from my ordeal, and I have naught but several scars to show for it, which I have been told some women may find appealing.
I see. And to think I was worried sick over you.
I'm not sure I understand, my lord.
Well, let's put that theory to the proof, shall we?
My lord?
'Twould seem that a great many things have occurred in my absence. I thought I might begin to make amends by welcoming you in person.
The messengers spared not their chocobos to bring us word of your victory in the grand melee. I cannot well describe our elation when we heard the news. It called to mind the day we rejoined the Eorzean alliance, and I glimpsed hope rekindled in the eyes of the people.
The Fury herself ushers us into a new era. Sir Emmerich, the time is now.
Aye, that it is. Reconvene the conference and summon Vidofnir to Falcon's Nest. We will make peace with Hraesvelga's brood and hasten this bloody war to its end.
Will be
Yes,
nice.
Lord Commander.
And now
I will
everyone's
send
like,
word
oh,
to
we could win.
Artorel and bid him resume preparations. Emanelaine, you will place yourself at your brother's disposal. He will be glad of your assistance.
Goodness, that's a short Ellison. Was that kid like 6?
No stopping it now, is there? We should inform Y'shtola and the others.
My dear friend, I doubt I will ever be able to thank you enough. But when the conference is successfully concluded, I damn well mean to try.
All right. They say you dueled General Raban within a ring of flames. I do not think the man so ostentatious. Would that I could have seen it. After we parted ways in Matoya's cave, I returned here to speak to Tataru. We agreed to tell the others only that our search for Minfilia has reached an impasse. I subsequently learned that you had left for Falcon's Nest, but I thought it best to keep it to myself for a time. I want to rely on you overmuch when we are together, and I needed to think, to reflect. I still do, I suspect, but matters here seem to be coming to a head. In short, there are some things I feel I must say, though nothing so urgent that it cannot wait until after the conference. And so let us make for Falcon's Nest, and see if Lord Artoriel has need of our assistance. All right. The Falcon's Nest, then. Well met, Master Krillins. Can thank you for looking after my brother. They say he fought bravely, that he did not dishonor his house. But you, my lord, to you we owe everything. As you can see, we've made every effort to strike while the iron is hot. We made our intentions known, and that all would be welcome to attend. And so they came. With the grace of the Fury, they came. The ceremony would not be a lengthy affair, but there is still much to be done. I would speak with you more, but I must see to my duties. As for you and Master Alfinol, you will do naught but enjoy yourselves. Is that clear? If any dare beg your assistance again, I will have words. Well, actually, the last time I enjoyed myself, I passed out, but whatever. Well, there you have it. We have been forbidden from meddling. Shall we wait, or have other matters to attend to before the ceremony begins? Excellent. And hope Thancred and the others will not be late. Epical events do not come around very often. See if we get poisoned again.
The appointed hour approaches.
Aye.
She begged leave to watch the proceedings. I saw no reason not to grant it.
Should I choose to deviate from my prepared remarks, I ask that you trust in my judgment.
Have I ever done otherwise?
Look!
Comes the dragon.
The white dragon!
Not foreboding at all.
How long it hath been since our peoples met thus, children of Thordan, even by our reckoning.
Vidofnir, daughter of Hraesvelga, we give thanks for your visit, and bid you welcome to Falcon's Nest.
Our sire bade us hearken unto the whispers of our hearts. They spoke to us of a paradise lost, of bonds of brotherhood which they yearned to see restored.
Ours too yearn for such a restoration, and they have guided us here this day, that they might yearn no longer.
Peace is difficult.
Brothers and sisters, ye who stand as witness, hearken to me. Since the days of Eld, when the bonds betwixt man and dragon were sundered by our hand, our peoples have known only war. Bloodshed without end, losses beyond counting, and still we fought. And still we fought. Some wounds do not heal. The dead cannot be returned to us.
Right.
But we, the living, can yet choose another course. Here and now, we can lay down this burden, this hatred, this vengeance. Our forebears fought not so that we could die, but that we might live. So let us honor their sacrifice and spare our children this death sentence. Let us gift them a new legacy. Life.
Betwixt our peoples yawneth a divide deeper than the deepest abyss, wider than the widest sea. Generations will live and die ere this divide is bridged. Knowing this, doth thy heart yet yearn for peace, son of Thordan?
Look now on the legacy we would leave to our children. A dream of peace, inscribed in stone for generations to come.
Father and his beloved, as they were so long ago, happy and at peace. The dream they shared shall be ours once more.
This sounds like heresy.
Never!
Yep, there it is. Hey there, Stinia. You look as if a man possessed.
Child of Dravania, art thou grown so forgetful that thou wouldst forsake kith and kin and consort with the spawn of Thornton? That thou wouldst dare contemplate peace? Hearken unto me, all of you! The final chorus is nigh, and all will be held to account. All will bathe in the flames of retribution. Till the coming of that day, look you on your sins and despair, for none shall escape my wrath. None shall escape my revenge!
7 hells.
It's Nidhogg.
Damn you, Nidhogg.
Hells, take that worm! While he lives, we'll never know peace.
That is true.
Aye! There'll be no end to this war till Nidhogg is dead and gone!
She's also correct.
So let's kill the bastard and be done with it. Death to Nidhogg! Death to Nidhogg!
Yep.
Death to Nidhogg! 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 Death to Nidhogg!
Could we maybe heal her? Could we maybe attempt to? There they go, the last of the guests. Having come hither with hope of their hearts, they depart with hatred and bloodlust. Until the moment I saw him strike, I still held some hope that what you had seen in Azizla was an illusion, perhaps. But he acted without hesitation, as did Sir Emmerich. For a mercy, Vidofnir's wound was not mortal. And so Licia tells me. The dragon was spirited away to Annex Time to receive care for her brethren. We can but hope the recovery is swift. But such was surely Nidhogg's intent, to deliver a proclamation not only to the children of Thoradin, but to his kindred. War is coming, and ye who do not stand with us stand apart. She was an example, a message to her brood, another instrument of his vengeance, like its Stygian. More minis. Alphino knows at last what he must do. When I said I wished to speak with you after the conference, I confess I envisaged rather happier circumstances. If anything, however, this latest tragedy makes the need more pressing. There are things I must say. Not to the Warrior of Light, or even to my fellow scion. But to you, Pieter, my friend. We're not here. No. Ah, but of course, the intercessory in Camp Dragonhead is still open to us. Let us go there. Greetings, sir. Shall I allow you inside? Sorry, shall I show you inside?
Forgive me. That took longer than expected. You seem puzzled. Oh, these. I thought something warming might not go amiss.
You'll see how I'm dressed, though, right?
It was not all that long ago that we sat here, you and I. In our very own falling snows, as Lord Horshvon called it. I still struggle to believe he is gone. And Azelle, too. I had such hopes for her. Master Matoya asked me what it was all for. Why we fight. And why we die. Were I still commander of the Braves, I would doubtless have replied, for the future of Eorzea. But I'm not that man. Not anymore. I needed a new answer. One that I could live with. And when I saw Estinian at the ceremony, I knew at last what it was. I do not want to be a man who sacrifices his friends and family for a cause. I want to fight for Estinian, and I want to save him. When Nidhogg leads the Horde into battle, Ser Emeric and his forces will do what they believe must be done.
Which is kill
That is their choice to make.
Estinian.
Yet even if Ser Emeric is willing to forsake Estinian, I am not. We must fight for him, for he is our friend and ally. We may struggle, we may fail, but we must try.
I mean, I'm not sure how you could do that. Maybe take the eyes off? I'm not going to say anything.
Forgive me. I say these things to you in full knowledge of the fact that you have never yet given up on a friend. We will find a way. I know we will.
Thank you, Pieter. It's unfair of me to unburden myself in this manner, time after time, but I am glad that you permit me nonetheless. You are my true friend and ally. Though not all of our fellow scions will support our stance in Estinian, I have faith that we will win them over in due course. Such is the infectious power of hope. Right, that's quite enough solemn introspection for one day. I think we would both benefit from some time in the company of Tataru. She stays for us at Fortemps Manor. She stays for us at Fortemps Manor. I think that's a mistranslation. Let us not keep her waiting any longer. I think he meant she waits for us at Fortemps Manor. Yet again we walk an all too familiar path. I'm reminded of when we first came to this manor. Lost and uncertain, we are granted succor in our hour of need. We were saved, and now it is our turn to return the favor. Hear, hear! Let no one say the Scions do not repay their debts. After all, what kind of people would we be if we forsook our friends? If we stopped looking for Ida and Palpamo, or if we gave up bringing Minfilia back? Though she knew it cost dearly, Minfilia reached out to us to deliver a message. She believed it was imperative that we understand the true nature of this star, of the rift between Zardiark and Heidelin, and of the Ascian's aspirations. But for all that has been revealed, I cannot shake the suspicion that there is much we have yet to learn. In any event, I think it is time we step back from the fray and consider carefully our next course of action. It will not be easy to turn this tragedy to triumph, but we will find a way. We will. We will. Monies. You've learned the emote Battle Stance.
Of all the ways for it to end. Even before his transformation, I could feel the worm's hatred swirling about Estinian. The terrible, all-consuming rage. Enough to fuel a 1,000-year quest for vengeance. It was all I could do not to run away screaming. But Ishgardians, nay, all Eorzeans, are made of sterner stuff. They face danger and death on a daily basis, and understand what it takes to win a war.
Think not too deeply on Master Matoya's words. Her intent was but to steal our resolve. That, and to remind us to look beyond these passing conflicts to trials greater still, to the truth which hides at the heart of this world.
So that's your aim, is it?
You disapprove?
Not at all. I believe it's traditional for the student to follow in the footsteps of the master. And you are so very alike.
The Warrior of Darkness. Thank you for noticing him and not doing anything to stop him. So we now have two friends that are acting as traitors? Is that the right word?
That great inexorable wave was upon us, and soon all of Ishgard would bend to its will. For all our sins, for all our scars, the future for which we had long yearned was at last within our grasp. But it would be bought at a heavy price. For in those twilight hours did Nidhogg cry out for vengeance, and his brethren raise their voices for the final chorus of the Dragon Song War.
Memories of Count Edmund de Fortemps, Heavensward, the gears of change. Of course, this is reminiscent of the way the story was narrated through on Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy XII. And I love that on both, and I love it here too. It's becoming more like Final Fantasy XII, and that's awesome. Gosh, Anita, that's all I ask. Don't be so eager to place your faith in them. Not until we know more. That's all we get? Okay. Whew. You're here, the Phantom of the Opera. I've got a mask too, you know. The Gears of Change. Portent tonight has a message. Before we do that, let's use the restroom really quick, because I need to get that done. I'll be right back. All right, let's continue. Ah, Master Krolinsk. It's well you're here. You're wanted within. I believe Master Alfinol wishes a word with you. Welcome, Master Krolinsk. May I show you inside the manor? All right. Ah, Pieter, there you are. Have you a moment? There's something I would fain discuss. Though, I would ask you to recall the events which unfolded at the peace conference. I dare say you would sooner forget them. My mind returns again and again to the moment when Nidhogg appeared before the crowds in the guise of Estinian. It was a sight to chill the soul, but one which gave me reason to hope that our friend might not be beyond salvation. When you described his fateful transformations as his law, I feared him lost forever, but the mere fact that some semblance of his former self endures must simply count for something. Alas, I have no evidence to support this impression. Thus did I turn to Ishtola and Kryl for a more empirical appraisal. And full glad I am that I did, for it would seem that they have some observations of their own to share. The ladies have served us a table at the Forgotten Night. Shall we go? Buh. Excellent. Let us not keep our honored colleagues waiting.
We have kept you waiting over long, I fear.
Not to worry, Alphino. We had some rather fine mulled wine to keep us company. Truth be told, you could have delayed your arrival a few moments more.
Gibrion got the spicing just right this time. His latest batch is not only delicious and warming, but soothing to the humours.
Excellent. Kitty says hello.
Indeed. But 'twas not to soothe our humours that we gathered here.
Ah, no, quite right. The matter of that poor dragoon.
You have discovered something. A means to save him?
Let us not jump to conclusions, shall we? Assess the facts presented, then make an educated analysis, as you were taught.
Pray, cast your mind back to the moment of Estinian's transformation. Do you recall how you described it to us? You spoke of the sudden pangs which racked his body when he took up both of Nidhogg's eyes, and of how his form was twisted thereafter into a shadowy semblance of the Great Worm.
Right, so we just need to take the eyes, right?
When he appeared at Falcon's Nest, the worm's eyes were fused to his mail.
Right.
Would that only his armor had been corrupted. Snaking forth from the eyes, I descried dark tendrils which entangled his very being. His ether has been all but smothered.
Right.
Then he is lost to us forever?
She said all but, dude.
What did I just say about jumping to conclusions? Y'shtola clearly stated all but smothered. As I later discovered, her impression matched my own. Though Nidhogg's presence filled my mind's eye, beneath his seething aura, I sensed the merest hint of something else. And after listening to Y'shtola's observations, I became more certain of my suspicion that the something else I had sensed was, in fact, the trace of a different will, submerged in the sea of Nidhogg's rage.
Estinian.
You mean?
Yes, 'tis like that Estinian spirit yet lingers.
Hidden.
Can we not wrest him from Nidhogg's grasp, then? Tear the eyes from the armor?
That's my solution.
We know not if that would serve to separate Worm's soul from man's. None have ever attempted such a feat.
It's not a no, though.
Should it offer even the faintest hope of success, then by the gods, I shall be the first to try.
I'm with you there, Alfina, for once. You and I are of a mind.
Alphino. By all means, hold fast to your hope, but be mindful of the dangers.
What danger?
Even should you succeed in excising the eyes from the dragoon's mail, we have no way of knowing if your friend's soul would survive so violent a separation. And that is to say nothing of the possibility that his would-be savior might become Nidhogg's next host.
That's the real danger.
But what other choice remains to us? Should the opportunity present itself, I will tear those foul orbs from Estinian's armor and trust in the resilience of his soul, even at the risk of mine own.
That's like a terrible idea. We all agree?
I found you at last.
need someone to sacrifice
A
themselves.
messenger of the Temple Knights came to the manor some few hours past. The Lord Commander humbly requests the company of the Warrior of Light and Master Alphino.
All right.
Sir Emmerich would speak with us. Very well, thank you, Onawa.
Onawa.
'Twould seem duty calls. Pray see to yours, and we shall return to ours.
Thank you, Y'shtola, Kryl. Your words have given me hope where there was none. Come then. Sir Emmerich awaits.
All right.
Alphino is allowing his feelings for this dragoon to cloud his thoughts.
Yeah, I
I
noticed
worry
that
he
too.
may do something rash. Keep an eye on him, would you?
I'll try, but he kind of does his own thing. Ah.
They think more of their friends' deliverance than their foes' defeat. But will history commend their fealty or condemn their folly?
The conference held at Falcon's Nest was to be a celebration of the reconciliation twixt man and dragon.
But
the lingering shade of Nidhogg, clad in the flesh of the Azure Dragoon,
Oh, yeah. It's great.
did mark the occasion by spilling the blood of his own kind.
Heaven's Word is considerably better than
Timely
Realm Reborn. I
atrocity
love the Realm Reborn.
to remind the children of Ishgard that the Dragon Song War was far from over.
I love both
When
Yssail
fear
and
gave way
Nidhogg,
to
or not
fury,
Nidhogg, Estinian.
The call to arms rang out anew. Death to Nidhogg. Death to Nidhogg.
Yeah. I mean, Nidhogg does need to go away. That was really the only solution. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying this one. It's a good. The writing is fun. The music is great. Of course, you know, it's a Final Fantasy, so of course the music's great. It's fun to play, you know. I mean, it's a very good game. My favorite part of A Realm Reborn, the crafting, is much less in this, which is unfortunate because I really did enjoy that a lot. But it's still present. What news is Sir Emmerich to share with us, I wonder? Alright. I need to open the box first. Alright. I have too many gloves, maybe? We do have too many gloves. Alright. Here, let's start this. Might Sir Emmerich perchance have received word of the Dravanian advance, or perhaps they have located Esti. That is to say, mayhap Nidhogg has been found. Come, I would hear what the Lord Commander has to say. Oh, well, I was gonna... Fine. That's fine.
My friends, I thank you for coming.
You have had news of Nidhogg?
Alas not. Our scouts range far and wide, but they have as yet found no trace of the Great Worm.
We dispatched an elite unit of dragoons to reconnoiter the churning mists, but even they returned empty-handed.
It's not reconnoiter?
Fear not, Alphino. We shall see the worm again soon enough. His words at Falcon's Nest attest to that. Indeed, he is like to come sooner than we would wish.
played this game for about 8 years already. Hope to continue to enjoy the Endwalker. I'm looking forward to getting there. One thing I'm really enjoying about this game is that like my favorite Final Fantasies are Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy XII, and as time is going on, this is becoming more like those games. And I'm like, yes, because I love those games so much. The presentation, the way that the feel of the game. It's becoming more like those games, and I'm like, yes, more of that.
I assume Ishgard's defenses are being bolstered as we speak?
And of course, the entire reason I picked this up was I had heard that Matsuno had worked on one of the expansions. And of course, he's the guy who did Tactics and Advance and Tactics and 12. And so I was like, yes, I need more of that. This guy is the best, and I want all of his stuff. I love all of his stuff, everything he's done. And so I got into it because I was like, yes, I want to see more of what he does. And the fact that he had done another game, finally, the expansion of this, I was like, yes, I need to see that. And so I was going to grit my teeth and get through the MMORPG because I'm not an MMORPG fan. And was pleasantly surprised at the fact that this is not like an MMORPG. It wastes your time. It doesn't feel like it's wasting your time at any point. And it's a lot of fun. And it was actually, a blast. And it's been a very pleasant surprise for me. Because, I had avoided this game for years. I had made a point of avoiding this game because a lot of my friends had said, oh, you got to play Final Fantasy XIV. It's so good. I was like, I don't like MMORPGs. People had said that about Ultima Online and EverQuest and Star Trek Online and what was the other one I tried? World of Warcraft. And I didn't like any of those games. And so it was just like, no, I'm just not really into any of that. And this game was totally different and I loved it. So, good deal. Ishgar's defenses are being bolstered as we speak.
With all haste, I mean to call upon every able-bodied warrior at our disposal, from the knights of the Four Houses to the men and women of the Watch. But I did not summon you to discuss strategy.
What then would you have of us, my lord?
I will speak plain. Now that Nidhogg is possessed of both of his eyes, no mortal force we can muster will repel him. That being the case, we must needs recruit an ally of equal strength.
Is there one? There isn't one.
You speak of Hraesvelga?
I mean...
I do. To whom else could we turn?
Okay.
That he is Nidhogg's equal, I do not
All right.
deny.
Thanks. I will.
Nor can I name another. But convincing the reclusive creature to do battle with his own brood brother will be... How shall I put this?
Yeah, I mean, he gave Nidhogg his eye. There's no way.
It will be no small undertaking, yes. Estinian's report was most particular about Hraesvelga's unwillingness to involve himself in the affairs of men.
Yeah, he was kind of done with us.
But much has changed since your visit to Somal. And if there is even a chance that the dragon may be swayed, I must plead our case. Whatever price the dragon asks of me, I shall pay it.
Oh.
Such was my oath, to defend the people of Ishgard.
Oh. I don't know that Ishgard's going to be okay with that. Oh, dear.
Come what may, my friends, the battle with Nidhogg will mark the end of my tenure as the acting head of church and state. Will you help me discharge this final duty?
Wow. That's, wow.
We will, my lord. Though I fear our involvement offers no guarantee of success.
Yeah. This should fail. This should fail really hard.
We will depart at your leisure.
Thank you. Both of you.
It's quite the gambit.
The city is yours, First Commander.
My lord, we shall pray for your swift return.
Man. Okay. Ally of Ishgard accepted. Okay. Alright. Okay, yeah, I know. Alright. Okay. Kitty, what are you playing with? That better not be poop. Cat playing in the background. Got me nervous. Don't mind me, it's just something I needed to do to clean this area out. Hey, kitty. Did you have fun? I'll go check and see what you were playing with later. Again, I'm really hoping it was not poo, because that would not be beyond you. You weirdo. Yeah, I need to do this one too. Break it down one. That's good for now. It grieves me to impose this upon you in this manner, but you, of all people, understand the threat we now face. It is no imposition, Sir Emmerich. To Pieter and I, Ishgard is like a second home. After the many battles we have fought and the bonds we have forged, the plight of your nation has become our own. If there is aught that we can do to aid in its salvation, then pray, impose us all you must. Well, your two friends. So we about our task then. We have no way of knowing when Nidhogg's shade will strike, and we must assume that time is not our ally. Indeed, that in mind, I've taken the liberty of dispatching a messenger to inform Mistress Tattoo that you will be escorting me to Somal. I confess I did not provide the exact details of our destination, as they are as yet unknown to me. We shall summon Herstelga at Zenith in the churning mists. Ere we begin our ascent, however, I think it best we pay a visit to Enick's shrine. You seek the advantage of the coming negotiations? I do. I would consult with Vidofnir. I propose this in part of our concern of her. I propose this, in part, out of concern for her condition. Were she to succumb to her wounds, it could have grave consequences for our alliance. That apart, she may be able to provide insight into our sire's current state of mind. Well reasoned. To the Ravanian Forelands, then. Well. So I'm now glad and leather. Okay, before we skedaddle, let's head off over here and try to give our stuff away to the peeps. Dang it, I keep hitting the wrong order. Oh, actually. Oh, I'm not quite there. Okay. All right. Fort is ready, sir. Serve, sir. sold nearly everything. Okay. I think we've got everything we can do there. Which is my specialty. That will be done. Yes. We'll take it. Alright. I'll perform your menial task. Alright, Alright, we need to sell a couple of these. They're not here. Hopefully next time you'll have a more meaningful task for me. Talk to me about a retainer. I don't have 40 ventures yet. But soon. Alright. So where do I need to go next? I need to go... I can't buy a retainer. There's no way I can buy ventures. Yeah, I didn't think so. Alright, let's go to the Forgotten Night and see if we can turn in some of our equipment. It was mainly just ceremonial. That's the wrong place. Stereo seals. Never run around here. Well, me neither. It's good to have a few more unfamiliar places in this place. Innkeep. Let's go to an inn. Right this way, if you please. Armory. Apparently this song is like one of the original Final Fantasy songs from the dungeon. Of course, this is my favorite song in all of this game. Oh yeah, it's at the Vidofnir at Annex time. Press Annex Shrine. Glad you're not dead. Ah, 'tis the warrior of warriors and his companions. What bringeth you to mine abode? Pray forgive us for disturbing your recuperation, Vidofnir. I hope your wound does not pain you overmuch. Didst thou imagine me close to death? The thrust was deep, but not mortal. I will heal in time. Oh, glad am I to hear it. You were the guest of honor at our conference, and we failed in our duty of protection. On behalf of Ishgard, I apologize unreservedly. I am a dragon full grown, and thou thought to protect me, mortal. I was tempered by the fires of battle ere thy great grandsire learned to crawl. Thy words do remind me of a knight whom I called friend some 1,000 years past. He swore to defend me from harm and hardship. Would that we could return to that era of peace, when man and dragon knew such camaraderie. Would that every effort to do so were not undone by ancient rancor. For in truth, there can be no peace while Nidhogg's shade yet lingereth. Yep, exactly. Oh, that much is plain. Yet we lack the strength to banish him. Thus do we make for Somol, to beseech the aid of your sire once more. Folly. Thou knowest as well as I how he will answer. Crisvelga's heart remains unchanged, then. Pity. But if it is folly to hope, I'm content to die a fool. As hath ever been the way of thy kind. Go then. But be warned, the Shade's presence hath driven its minions to frenzy. Thank you, Vidofnir. We shall disturb your rest no longer. Spice cider. Those sound nice. Actually, those sound really nice. Though I expected no better answer for Vidofnir, I take little pleasure from having been proven right. It would seem that our presence in Zenith will be every bit as unwelcome as I had anticipated. But what is the ire of one great worm, a trio of self-confessed fools such as ourselves? Let us begin our ascent. After you, Master Alphonse. Scout ahead if you wish, Pieter. We shall join you outside Mogholm. To Mogholm, then. To Mogholm. I'd heard tales of the world above the clouds, but never did I dream. One's mind paints a pale picture of this majesty. Few live to see such wonders. I'm reminded of my first visit to this peak, when Estinian and Isael yet walked at our side. Kapopo? Is that you, Peter? Is that you, Peter? Gotta get the right voice. Ah, but isn't Don't tell me you've forgotten my name, Kupo. After all we've been through together? At least you remember me. You do remember me, don't you, Peter? How could I forget you, Moglin? How could you mistake me for that overstuffed throne warmer? I'm Mogin, the courageous Moogle who guided you to Zenith, Kupo. Putting our shared history to one side, that brings you and your friends to Mogholm, Kupo. Another audience with all us Rhaegar. Well, I hope you brought the horn, Kupo. With the winds as gentle as they are, a good loud toot should reach the Great Worm's ears easily enough. Well, that is good to hear, Morgan. Thank you. You'd best press on to Zenith, while the winds are in our favor. Well. You're absolutely sure you're not Moglin? Oh, that was unexpected, Kupo. Chief Moglin will want to hear about this. They totally misunderstood my name, and they thought I was him. That's funny. Alright. It's time for another potty break. This coffee's dangerous stuff. some more water too on here. Alright, let's continue, shall we? No, you know what? Let's actually just travel there. Very dusty. Over here.
Peter, just the craftsman I was looking for, Kupo. We're gathering materials for the restoration of the walls surrounding the plaza grounds. Your help would be most appreciated. I dispatched a few able-bodied Mughals to the landlord colony in search of salvageable goods, and I want to be sure that what they can find can be put to good use. I'd like you to check on their progress and bring back anything they've found so far. As the most brilliant Mughal of the Mogmenders, I took it upon myself to devise a plan to recruit more helping paws. All I need now is a certain charismatic character to put my plan into action, and that would be you, Kupo. We Mughals all play and no work when time allows for it. But none can resist the allure of Kupo nuts, even if it means arduous work. And that is how I'll rally the Mughals to help with construction. Mogmol was hesitant, though, concerned those already working would lose their share. Being the magnificent Mughal that I am, however, I amassed an ample supply without dipping into their stock. Now, what I want to do is travel to Mogholm and see who'd be willing to help us for a sizable sum of Kupo nuts. The mere mention of the word should be more than enough, to motivate them, Kupo. Tell me, Peter, you ever heard of sparkling mallows? At the very least, I'm sure you've seen them, twinkling balls of fluff dotting the landscape here and there. We plan to use them to spruce up the monument's grounds, Kupo. I sent someone to gather a few, but alas, they've yet to return. You would think picking a few plants would be an easy task. I'm sure it's nothing serious, but I would be remiss not to be certain, which is why I need you to travel to Samal and see if anything is wrong.
All right. I'll use my culinary superpowers. $390. That's not bad.
I don't know where to begin, Kupo. Would you help me find some choice materials for the Mogmenders? We should be able to cover more ground if we split up. You head west and I'll stay here and see what we can find. Between the two of us, something's bound to impress Mogik.
Dig through some rubble here. Dig through some rubble here. And lastly, dig through some rubble here.
Welcome back. So what'd you find?
Found some dateless wood.
I was only expecting scraps, Kupo. Where'd you find this? We can make reagents for restoring the walls with this. I mean, you can make reagents, Kupo. Far be it from me to deny a craftsman a chance to show off his skills. Now then, when you finish, take the supplies back to Magik. I'm gonna stay here and see if there's anything else worth taking.
Wall repair supplies, huh? And the more wall repair supplies. Actually, I think there's a shorter route to this. Right here. And we got that part done. Should be a mournful Moogle over this way. First, let's talk about free coupons. These Moogles are cuckoo for coupons.
Hey, you're that crafting adventurer, right? Thank goodness you're here. I can't finish harvesting these sparkling mellows now that my hatcher's ruined, Kupo. I worked really hard and I'd hate to upset the Mugmender back home. You think you can help me fix it? The blade's grown so dull, it won't even cut grass, let alone a cloud mellow. I was hoping you could make oil for sharpening. Thankfully, I have spare material for repairs right here. When you crafted what we need, take it to the Moogle floating just over there, and he'll make my tools as good as new, Kupo.
Gathering tool components, then. Went a little too far. Oh well.
Look at the sky. I think we're just tiny fluffy specks in the great expanse of it all. Really makes you think, doesn't it? Oh, free Kupo nuts. Well, I certainly don't need to think about that, Kupo. Which way to the Mogmenders? Whoa there, before you say anything, I know why you're here. You broke another hatchet, didn't he? Alright, well, let's take a look then. Oh, you made new parts to fix it, Kupo. That's awfully kind of you. I'll have him back to work in no time. If Ma gets asked, tell him that work is proceeding as planned. Hey there, Meagle Mooger. Meager Moogle. Free Koopa nuts for helping the Mogmenders? Who could say no to that? Turns out a lot of people, actually. Cloud Mellow's the fluffiest. If only I could make that palm that soft and... If only I could make my palm that soft and fluffy. Koopa nuts? For free, my fluffy palm will have to wait, Koopo. There's actually a shorter route to this. I think I just need to hit up and it'll work. There we go. Nuts, you say? All I can eat if I help the Mogmenders? I'll do it, Koopo. Marvelous. I'm glad I could get you guys to help. Actually, a lot trickier than you'd think. Tricking Moogles into working. I mean, making Moogles work. Would even suggest I'm tricking them. Certainly not me. Hey there, Mogik. There you are. Did you find anything suitable for work on the walls? I found these. Oh my, this is more than suitable. With this, the walls will gleam as they haven't in 1,000 years, Koopo. I'll have the Mogmenders get to work on that right away. Moogles have been flying in from every which way asking for work. I've never seen them so eager. But you and I both know it's really just here for my nuts, Koopo. You wish to know how I procured enough for all the volunteers? Why, I borrowed them from Chief Moglin's secret reserves, of course. So secret, in fact, he's all but forgotten they exist. Even if he should remember, I'm certain he would agree our work in Zenith was a suitable use for them. At least, I hope so. Welcome back. So his tool is broken. Trouble, just as I expected. No, you misheard me, my friend. I didn't say I'm sure it's nothing serious. I said I'm sure it's something serious. Why else would I send you to help him, Koopo? Let's decline for now. We have Master Muggs in to talk to. Peter, you're back and at the perfect time. Terracin and I were just discussing how to move forward with the restoration. You're welcome to come join us, Koopo. Peter, how kind of you to join us. We were just discussing how to proceed with the restoration. The Mogmenders are ready for a new challenge, and I have in mind for them to work on the plaza's outer wall. And what would a challenge be without an insurmountable obstacle? They lack the strength to lift even the heavy walls, heavy bricks. They lack the strength to even lift the walls heavy bricks in fold, let alone stack them on top of each other. An Ishgard, who would use levers and pulleys to get the job done, but I'm afraid that design is unfit for Moogle proportions. Short of creating an entirely new system, which is outside the realm of my expertise, the solution for the problem has eluded me. That is, until the Master Mogmender himself had a brilliant suggestion. Mogson, if you will. Certainly, Koopo. I proposed calling upon the dragons for help. I have seen them grasp vast boulders with their mighty claws. It should be a simple task for them to stack the bricks on top of each other. Ingenious idea, yes, and one which fills me with anticipation. For I have never seen a dragon's might put to constructive use. It would seem as well that Mogson already knows who to ask. That's right, Koopo. I happen to count a dragon amongst my many friends. He's strong, too, much stronger than any Moogle I've met. Tristan, Peter, wait here. I'll seek him out straight away.
sure it won't be a problem. And a Echidna. Alright, I think that's something. Kitty. Kitty's having a bit too much fun. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. Dang it. That was exactly the wrong way I wanted to do that. There we go. Poor Rago. Let's wait for him to return. Oh.
We are returned, Kupo. Peter, Terracin, meet Old D.
So these are the ones in need of my strength. They are so wingless. Nevertheless, any friend of Mogzin is a friend of mine. I am at your service.
By the Fury, if you were not Mogzin's friend, I would be trembling in my boots. Oh, D. I was made to believe that you could hurl boulders through the skies with but a flick of your powerful claws. Is that true?
Of course. Do not think me some weakling. I am a dragon, and the blood of the great worm Svelger courses through my veins. In just 3 centuries, even the most colossal stone would be but a pebble in my claws.
Did you hear that? We need only wait 3 centuries. Fortunately, I have no pressing engagements for the next 300 years. What about you, Mogzin? Do you have time to spare?
Well, no, certainly not. Oh, there must be another way. Oh, I know. Old D, we have a surplus of foodstuffs thanks to Maglol's shrewd management. Eat your fill, and before long you'll be big and strong as Svelger. Right?
Mogzin. You're always so short-sighted. How many times must I tell you the quickest solution is not always the best?
But don't you understand? We can't wait 300 years. By that time, the palms in every Moogle in Mogholm won't have gone to dust.
My apologies. I sometimes forget how very fragile you Moogles are. I suppose we will have to entreat my older brother for help then. Let me warn you, however, that he can be a bit trying at times. But worry not, for I am certain we can sway him to help us one way or another.
Oh, thank you, Oldie. I knew we'd find a way. However, I know there's still more work to be done. Soon I'll be able to add persuading a dragon to my list of accomplishments. But as they say, there's strength in numbers. Peter, pray accompany me as it may lend more weight to our request.
Well then, let us be off. My brother, we off, spends his time deeper within Zenith. I will go ahead and see if I can soften him up before you arrive. I believe his name is Way Off, not Way Off. Okay, that is him. I'm just making sure I didn't accidentally trigger an event where I'd have to fight. Say hello to Way Off, Peter. Mind your manners around him. My brother has requested I hear your plea, and I shall not deny him.
Actually, we got important things to discuss. We need to move some rocks. We're grateful for this audience, Kupo. You see, we need to rebuild the walls of Barles. Alas, our tiny paws can barely grip the massive stones, let alone lift them. That's why we require a dragon's strength. Your strength.
Ah, yes. We have heard tale of Moogles playing at being stonemasons. This I know. I care not how or where you conduct your games or whom you choose to imitate. However, I will not be made party to such whimsy.
Way Off? With all due respect, you're mistaken. This is no game, Kupo. We're pouring our heart and soul into repairing Barles. It's only the beginning.
Brother Mogson tells the truth. He is wholly devoted to this task. He's even forsworn trickery. Please, I implore you to give him and his people a chance. One chance, then, to show me the depth of your conviction. If you truly are a crafter, then craft something for me. That which cannot speak, yet can be heard. Present it to me, and my strength shall be yours.
What? I mean, yes, of course. Peter, let's return to Barles so we can begin work on Way Off's request. Forthwith. To make of Way Off's words. Something that can't speak but can be heard? Well, my palm aches from trying to wrap it around his riddle. Perhaps I should just trick him. Can't be that much more difficult than tricking a Moogle. I jest, Koopa. Worry not. I won't rest till I've deciphered his strange request. Peter, let's put our palms together. Together we can chip away at the question until the answer takes shape before us. What could possibly be, Koopa? Peter, you've traveled all manner of places. Surely a worldly adventurer such as yourself can offer some insight. Well, some folks say dragons have an insatiable lust for treasure. Treasure? Well, we value nothing more than our Kupo nuts and the shiny tools made from the landlords. But I don't see... Wait, there is another treasure, Kupo. That's right. The horn we used to call upon the great Hesvelger. A horn which cannot speak, but can indeed be heard. So it's an instrument that Way Off wants. I've always been partial to tooting the horn myself, but I believe crafting one should prove simple. However, I would entrust you with a separate task. Grease to polish the horn to a mirror shrine that could provide that stunning final touch. Mogbo shred of the materials you require. Now await your masterpiece, Kupo. Well, Mogbo, you got any stuff to make oils? You've come here for materials? Very well. There'll be 30 Kupo nuts, please. You should see the look on your face. It was merely a jest. Please, take as much as you require. Free of charge, of course. Time to make a horn component. One component complete. Are you finished, Kupo? I've completed the horn. All I require is your final flourish. Here's your oils. That's even better than I could have hoped, Kupo. Any Moogle will surely be proud to toot on this horn, even Chieftain Moglin. And nevertheless, I must take care when applying the final touches. Go on ahead and meet with Old D and his brother, and I'll be close behind, horn in paw. Way off? We thought long and hard on your words, and I brought that which you seek. Behold, a Mogmender masterpiece. Here's your instrument. It's very shiny, though.
Why, that is just a horn. Why would brother want that? Of course, a horn cannot... Oh, I see. How clever, Mogson. And the craftsman is even better than we had hoped. Do not feign knowledge, Oldie. You do not know the answer. As for you, Mogson, was this horn truly wrought by your hands?
Indeed, Kupo. I put every ounce of skill into its construction. Every ounce, as well as a dash of Peter's skill for good measure.
A horn does not speak, yet it can be heard from even the highest peaks. It would seem that my trial was simple before the combined efforts of man and Moogle. I am impressed. Accept my apologies for doubting you.
That means you'll help Mogson? Splendid.
But brother, I still do not understand why a horn is so important to you. How much you have yet to learn. Though I am sure you were taught once before that our songs are as roars to their ears, so alien and unfathomable. So it was that Rastelgar bequeathed the magic to men, that they can fashion sacred instruments to join in the chorus. The horn entrusted to the Moogles is but one of these works. If you would have my aid, you must wield an instrument worthy of calling upon my kind. I believe this horn will do nicely.
An instrument to summon a dragon? It's that good, Kupo? No one's ever praised something I've made. This feeling is better than eating 3 Kupo nuts at once.
No.
I apologize, I got a little carried away. Now, where were we? Oh yes, way off. Allow me to escort you to Barles.
looking for some hot stuff baby this evening. Now this is what I envisioned when Mogson spoke of dragons. Now this is what I envisioned when Mogson spoke of dragons. I applaud your success, my friend, though I did not doubt you for a second. Mogson certainly seems to be in high spirits. Higher than usual, even. Did your meeting with Way Off go off that well? Yeah, actually, we convinced him to join us. It's kind of epic. Ah, now I say, my dear Mogson, how does it feel to labor over your creation, to pour every ounce of your vim and brio into it, with what an effort to be recognized and earn you accolades? Tell me true, can you think of aught better?
No, I cannot, Kupo. This is even more thrilling than when I tricked Bagup.
And now you understand why we crafters slave away at our art. Yes, for I dare say you are now as much a crafter as Pietro and myself. Still, I do not think your journey over already. You have much to learn yet in the way of technique.
Me, a crafter, Kupo. I don't know what to say, except I'll try my utmost not to disappoint.
And you must be Way Off, whose trial spurred Mogson's growth. I am Ferrison, and I offer my humble greetings and thanks. Well then, shall we begin? For perhaps the first time in 1,000 years, man and dragon shall work together to build and not to destroy. Although I am too young to have known the peace our ancestors once shared, I am honored to work alongside you. May our bonds be strengthened through our labor. Travel quest complete. We're making progress. Doesn't look bad. Thanks to your efforts, the outer walls of the Barlays have been restored. Continue assisting the Mogmenders to see repairs of the plaza completed. It does not look bad at all. Reputation up. Business has increased to friendly. Little daily quests are available. We're going to be able to undertake 3 additional quests. Rank bonus. Getting all current daily quests from... Available after accepting all the current daily quests from the Mar of Bliss. Be advised you cannot undertake these quests if you have no remaining allowances. Going back honestly, the tool is broken.
Peter, tell me, have you been to the monastery? While many, like me, assume it to be simply been a quiet place of worship, Way Off says that erstwhile sanctuary was once served as a stone fabrication facility. We decided to do a bit of exploring and a cursory search of the place yielded serviceable equipment once used in the production of decorative tile work. The stonemasons have already set to work, clattering about our good fortune. With all the trouble we faced of late, I prefer to leave nothing to chance. Please, Peter, bring me some peace of mind and make sure nothing is amiss. Peter, have your travels ever taken you to a place called Tharnal Kosh? There's no secret that ruins hold some of the clearest crystals in the realm. Crystals so pure they often considered to be perfect catalysts. As such, I sent some Mogmenders to harvest them. They should be returned by now, with chests overflowing, Kupo. The reason they haven't, I imagine, is because they've run into trouble. Oh, great adventurer, might you go and see what the trouble is? Thank the gods you're here. All evening, the construction moogles have been pelting me with complaints regarding the shipments they've been receiving from the stonemasons. It would appear that with each of the stone blocks that arrive at the site have been polished to a shine, no two are the same. It's made it nearly impossible for the rocks to be stacked, much less used for construction. The masons need someone to guide them. I can think of no one better than the master himself. Please, Peter, show the stonemasons of Zenith how sculpting is truly done.
Okay. So. Go this way first. Masonry removal.
What is this? The blocks have been displaced but are not all uniform. Oh, that's not good, Kupo. Not good at all. I don't understand how such a thing could happen. My masons have been working tirelessly, meticulously chipping away at their stones, even as their pom-poms droop from exhaustion. Unless... oh dear. Is it possible in their haste to begin production, they forgot to consult with one another? That would certainly account for the differing shapes and sizes. Peter, it seems Magik was right to send you. We're in desperate need of your assistance. Perhaps if you were to produce an abrasive, which we could use to grind down some of the larger blocks, be able to standardize all of our rocks in our shipments. I'll have my masons bring them to you. If you find yourself running low on materials, don't hesitate to speak up, Kupo.
Oh man, we're out of crystals. So we need what? Water? All right. Water crystals, where are those? There's Bloodshore and Raincatcher Gully. So Eastern Lanasha. Here. This is what I needed. Okay. Here and get one last one of these.
I'm so glad a matter has been brought to my attention. It seemed to me... Oh, my apologies, Peter, for not noticing sooner. I saw them brought to you immediately. You go. You, there. Go and fetch the requested materials at once, Kupo. Come and look upon the master's work, Kupo. Here you go. You're truly amazing, so swift and precise, Kupo. I've never seen anything like it. How's become such a great crafter?
You must always pay attention to the details.
Your wise words have served to motivate us even further. We shall return to work and try again and again until we get it right. Kupo, thank the gods above Mokek finally sent help. It's terrible, Kupo. We're so fixated on mining crystals, we didn't realize just how thick the air was with aether till it struck down about half of our squad. Now it puts us in a tenuous position. A few of us have yet to feel its full effects. If we proceed with caution, we may still be able to fulfill Mogek's request. This is where you come in. Please, if you could make a wax sealant which might prevent any ether within the chest from leaking out, we would be most grateful. Everything you should need will be right here. But if there's something you can't find, please don't hesitate to ask.
Etheric shielding. Dang.
So dizzy, Kupo. Unless we make haste, I too will soon be joining those in the ranks who lay listed in the ground. Oh, how might I transport the crystals back to Mogek in this condition?
Here's some shielding for you.
What's this? Protective guard for our chests, you say? Oh, thank you. Thank you, adventurer. We're saved, Kupo.
Glad I could help. Well, I'm gonna use the restroom again. Too much coffee.
Alright.
Monastery. Mosaicist Moogle.
Hello, sir. Did you, too, come looking upon the monastery after hearing the great dragon's regaling tales? Well, here it is. Everything is promised and more. With the tools you found here, we've produced more tiles in an hour than we did last did in a day. All this progress has us eager to continue. We've exhausted the last of the veneer we had. Now that you're here, however, our problem is as good as solved, Kupo. Please, if you would, make us a glaze that we might add shine to our tiles. Once you're finished, we'll be most grateful if you could deliver the product directly to my assistant, who's just beyond this archway. Ever since we used the last of our supply, he's been inconsolable, lecturing anyone in the Inshra of the importance of properly managing supplies.
Back to that.
Honestly, if anyone had bothered to listen, we could have doubled, no, tripled today's output. And now production's at a complete standstill, with little or no help of starting again, Kupo.
You mean because you'll need the souvenir components?
Is that what I think it is? Well, I could just hug you. Thank you, sir. You've really saved our palms on this one. Thank you, adventurer. With your help, we finally created a set of 3 stone blocks that are the exact same size, Kupo. We should get started on the next one, so please take these to Mugget for approval. Peter, thank the gods you've returned unharmed. I was beginning to worry I should need to send one of the Mogmenders after you. How refreshing it is to hear the only trouble was a simple shortage of materials. Seems I need worry no longer. Our luck has at long last taken a turn for the better, Kupo. I admit the possibility of Mogmenders becoming affected by aether sickness completely slipped my mind, Kupo. It seems the fault in this case lies with me. We Moogles are more adept at manipulating the etheric flow than most. However, as this is a less an acquired skill and more natural talent, we are more likely to succumb to overexposure. While there's no denying this was an unfortunate turn of events, I am happy to see the Mogmenders appear at least to be learning the value of hard work. Good evening, Peter. Pray tell, how'd the lessons go? Well, wonderful news. Well, they certainly have their work cut out for them. I feel this is the last bit of trouble we'll be seeing from the stonemasons. Just looking at these samples are completely magnificent. I'm certain even the construction Moogles will be impressed with the good precision with which they've been cut, Kupo. Alright, let's repair all this, and 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 all this. Yeah, let's do this. All right. What's left before I need to mosey off.
Peter, you gotta hear this. That bastard himself, Tia, is depressed. Ain't it just grand? Captain Moana bade him invest in some new kind of soup, you see. And so he goes off and makes a fancy-ass chilled porridge. When it's ready, he serves it to her, smeg as he pleased. But the instant she tastes it, her face goes dark and she says, "What the hell's in this slop?" Oh, it was bleeding glorious, I tells you. Unfortunately, my pleasure was short-lived, for the captain then fixed her gaze on me, showed me to think up a piping hot soup, fairly barking as she did. And well, until we make her something to her satisfaction, I fear she'll remain in a foul mood. Though she has her own place, Catherine Waswin often dines at the Bismarck in secret. I dare say Master Leggett has a good grasp of her preferences. Could you help her? Could you please find out from him a soup she's certain to like, that prepares it for her?
Hello there, Peter. Your contest preparations are coming along well, so I hear. Seeing ye are at it takes me back, it does. In my younger days, I participated in nigh every edition of the old Delamont d'Or. Why not enter again, ye ask? Truth be told, I was sorely tempted, but me competing days are far behind me. Besides, I don't like your chances with you around. Any roadworks or something you needed?
Need to find out what this lady wants.
Rowan's anchoring for a pipe and hot soup, eh? Hardly surprising of late, the woman's been fairly obsessed with this Guardian cuisine. And that's all I can tell you. Sorry for being sparse with the details, son, but if you wants to know more, you'll have to ask the good captain herself.
Yeah, I don't understand why I didn't go to her first. Did he report to the Lalafell that he didn't know? Is that what's about to happen? Okay, good. The obvious answer was ask her. Me? Obsessed with this Guardian cuisine? Ha! Never heard nothing more ridiculous. I wouldn't be caught dead start sharing an interest in Caravellan, much less study up Ishgardian soups for the puffy, shirted fop. Don't bugger me. All right, I'll tell you everything. I'm trying to set a trap for Carvelian. The plan's to lure the bastard over with his favorite dish and plying him with a drink. And then he lowers his guard, and I do for him. You see so much as breathe a word of this to anywhere. I'll cut you out your blabbing tongue and have you served for stew. Seeing as you're now in on the plan, I might as well take use of you. I wants to go to Caravellan and ask him for the best Ishgardian chef around. Once you got the name, find the fellow and have him teach you how to make a traditional Ishgardian soup. I mean, I guess. Acting on medical behest, you say. Ah, well, do it for me, and I'll consider your task fulfilled. Now, you'll find Caravellan at the 7th stage. Here's a bag of coin to help loosen its tongue. All right. Most folk on the limits of the city of pirates, but the new era has ushered in a brand new breed of buccaneer. You interested in hearing more? Nope. Wish to know the name of the best Ishgardian chef in the land? I struggle to comprehend why I should ask me this of all questions. Here's some money. I find me interest in your motive suddenly waning. It seems unlikely that this knowledge can be used to make any mischief, so very well. As a well-trained adventurer, you'll doubtless be familiar with House Duradere and of Ishgard. Its chief head is said to be the foremost authority in the cuisine of his native land. In seeking him out, aside from the obvious signs of such garb, look for a golden bell upon his breast. It's the sigil of the house he serves. You wish to know his name? But where would the fun be in that? Now, as an accomplished culinarian, you'll most certainly have a taste for fine wines. When you meet the man, make a gift of him this bottle of La Marmon Red. Say that it comes from an admirer from across the seas. All right. Jeweled Crozier.
Indeed, I am the head chef of House Durader. What is it you require of me?
Here are some bulls.
By the Fury. Seldom do I find vintages such as this. I was not aware that I had admirers, let alone that they are so widespread as to be found in Limsala Minsa.
Yeah, well, you do.
You wish to learn a recipe of the traditional Ishgardian soup? You'll find none more ubiquitous than beet soup. It graces the tables of all Ishgardians, warming the hearts and stomachs of lowborn and highborn alike. The ingredients, chief among which is magma beet, are sliced and sautéed, after which the broth is added, along with the seasoning. The concoction is then allowed to simmer until everything is stewed together, and the broth takes on a rich crimson hue. Now then, there are many variations of the soup, as there are people who make it. But the one nearest my heart is that which makes my dear mother used to make. I was sickly as a child, you see, and she would add copious amounts of vegetables in the hopes that I would grow strong. Through her cooking, I felt her love, and everything tasted all the better for it. Call me a sentimental fool, but it is my belief that love is an essential ingredient in every dish. A final note. For those Ishgardians of means, beet soup is typically served alongside a Kaiser roll and grilled sweet fish. I hope this information serves you well. My thanks again for the wine. What about sweet cream? Getting it out? Three yak milks made for sour cream. Play parent boy for you forever.
wheat mix, Highland flour. Sesame seeds. Any of those? Loag. Sprouts. She's saying, next we eat soup.
Kaiser roll. That is what I said to do. Sometimes wonder what would happen if I wasn't such an idiot all the time. Let's try again. Looking for some hot stuff.
Oh, there you are, Peter. You were gone for so long I was beginning to worry. Tell me, were you able to find the soup to please Captain Roswin?
Not just the soup, but also accompaniments.
Thank you so much. Oh, so this is the dish she'll use to lure Cavalian over with.
What?
I know all about her plan. It's hard not to hear the captain's impassioned rants when you stand close outside the door. I won't mention this to her, though. Oh, I think she's still at it, going after Cavalian, that is. When will she own up to her feelings? Stubborn as she is, probably never. At any rate, we shouldn't keep her waiting. Let's have her sample your handiwork, shall we?
Sure, why not? Soup's bleeding amazing. Tastes like it. Oh, even though I've never tasted it till now. How the hell did you make it? Let me put this straight. The secret ingredient's love. Sort of makes sense, the way you put it. Melkoko, go get me Hamistar. Go and let Hamistar Tia know I want him to master this soup.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Well, that girl went up to her feelings. She's right moony from Miss Tia. Yet here she's trying to bring him down. Oh, I know about it, then. I mean, how couldn't I when she rants about him outside the door with a voice that'll wake the dead? And you did 2 shites with the contest. You won't help but worry for Melkilko. Seems she hasn't thought things through. I'll take the money, thanks. Love meat tender. Look, I'd like to share with you the outcome of Rosewind's plot. Doubtless you're wondering what became of Captain Rosewind's plot. Well, shortly after you left, she invited Corvallian to her ship for dinner. Alas, he was suspicious of her intent from the first and refused to put anything in his mouth. He just sat there poking and prodding his meal. God, what a bloody waste. For all talk of offing him, it wasn't a trap at all. If only you weren't so goddamn proud and stubborn. That's the only news I have to share. Oh, right, Langley's was looking for you. He seemed to be in a spot of a bother, so you'd best go and see what's afoot. Alright. It is time for lunch. All this culinary stuff has got me thinking about food. All right, so I'm going to stop here because I am actually going a little crazy for hunger. All right, and we'll be back after lunch. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you later. And if I don't, have a wonderful day.